Right. We were asking, first of all, this shiur is the refuah shlema of Breina Bracha Batreina, and to the Hatzlacha of Karen and our big friend Mike. So I was asked a question, how do you become more parush? Parush means you kind of leave the world behind you, to become holy. Right, that was the question. So you can do it. The way we said it, you really cannot do it. Because if a person, for example, is immersed with pleasures and with what this world has to offer to you and so on and so forth, and of course you have to enjoy it, what the world gives you. But the limit, how do you create the limit and then from the prishut, being separated? In other words, it's not that I'm making the pleasures of the world asur for me, forbidden for me. I just want to put them under control. How do I do that? And that will be the gate for holiness. So how do I become, in a way, more holy? Well, for sure you don't become holy by putting like a white robe on you and covering your hair, your eyes, and growing a beard and having sandalwood all over the place. That's not makes you holy. To become holy, you don't become holy by declaring yourself to be holy. You have to do the steps. Prishut, how would you say prishut in English?
Abstinence?
Abstinence. Abstinence is another way, another word, another way to really describe freedom. Believe it or not. People think that freedom is my ability to do whatever I want, whichever I want, without giving account to anybody. But then you become a prisoner of your own desire. You can move without it. Like, for example, you like to drink wine. Is wine good? Yeah. Am I allowed to drink wine? In Judaism, am I allowed to drink wine? Oh, of course. How do I drink wine as a Jew? Well, we tell you there are boundaries. You have to make a bracha before, bracha after. There's a shiur, 3.5 ounces, whatever amount you drink. If you drink X amount, you can. In other words, you're putting boundaries on it. To become abstinent, or to become holy, or to become free, let's look at the process of becoming, or going to breaking an addiction. If you drink wine, eventually you could become an alcoholic. If you drink coffee, you can't do it in the morning without coffee. You drink, you drink wine, and so therefore, what used to be one glass of wine is enough. All of a sudden, one bottle, just and so on and so forth. Anything. So there are two ways to do so. Either you go cold turkey, completely out, or you break it small into parts. Slowly you remove. But the slowly removing, you have to have an intent of why you want to do it, and you have to understand where you're going with it. I'm not taking away my freedom, I'm not taking away my pleasures, I'm trying to gain freedom. So I need to engage myself in a constant process of thinking, why am I doing this and why I'm getting out of it, and slowly remove something and substitute it with something else. You can't leave things in a vacuum. You can't leave empty spaces. When there's empty space, it would be filled in with something again. You need to control not only the removal, but also what you fill it in afterwards. Because if not, somebody else will. And whatever somebody else pours is not necessarily what you want. So if you remove the pleasures of the world, and that gives you pleasures, you have to substitute it with another pleasure that would give you ultimate freedom. One way, which is the best way, is to fill your life with Torah. Now, yes, it's very nice to learn a whole entire day, fully, blah, 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 the whole entire thing. That's the ideal way to do it. That's like experiencing messianic time. When you sit down free of worries and sitting down and learn Torah. That's like Yemot HaMashiach. So when you come to yeshiva and learn, you're experiencing Beze'er Ampin, you're experiencing the messianic time, the Yemot HaMashiach. Sitting down free to learn Torah. And why should I learn Torah? Because Torah gives it the most substance and in my life and meaning in my life. So if you remove one of your desires of the world, whether it's food, sex, drugs, whatever the world tells you it's okay for you to use, so you could become a bigger captive of the world. When you remove that, you need to put substance, volume, meaning in your life. And you need to see what gives meaning to your life. Based on that, start adding it. Sometimes you need to add more, sometimes you need to add less, sometimes it's little things, sometimes it's big things. Now, it doesn't make a difference if you fill that gap with rocks or you fill it up with little pebbles, as long as you continue filling up the gap, the void, with something that you decide to fill it in, you're on your way to freedom. Understanding, if you need to first define, it's like an enemy. You need first of all to define who is your enemy. And what are you fighting for? If I'm going to send you to a war without knowing what you're fighting for, you're going to fail. If there is a meaning to your fighting, you're going to win, and it has nothing to do with the numbers. It has to do with with what, if you know what you're fighting for. If you're fighting for your survival, or you're fighting to conquer your enemy and to rape all its women and and push all the men to the ocean like the Arabs wanted to do in 1967. Yes, HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped us without a doubt. And in 1973, HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped us without a doubt. But the main reason, if in the views of our world, in a secular view, why the Israelis won is because they were fighting for their lives, while the Arabs tried to take over and loot. So therefore there was no meaning to that fighting. That lasted only a little bit. All the pleasures of the world is supposed to give you a fuel for seconds. So therefore, and you know that you can't have enough fuel, so you have to add more and more and more. And the more you add, the more you become addicted to it. Where when you have a meaning, I'm fighting for my life. Meaning means to the rest of your life. So what would give you meaning to the rest of your life? That's what you need to introduce into your life. Well, that's already individual in bigger amounts and smaller amounts, but you have to keep on adding that, not taking that away. That's why there's a difference. If you are going to work to make money, is different than if you're going to work so you can learn. So if you're learning, if your goal, the whole goal is to learn, and you understand, listen, I have to go to work because I have to make some money to learn, you're going to stay focused and loyal to your idea, and ultimately you're going to say, okay, you know what, I have enough, I can continue learning. But if you're doing it for money, well, you know, if you're, and what we say, well, kesef lo yishba kesef. If you're choosing off the money, it's never going to be enough. You say, oh, 1 million, then you want 2 millions. You're never going to leave the world with half of your desire in your hands. Why? Because you always want more. I said, oh my goodness, I'm going to give you $1 million. David, will it be good to have $1 million? Sure, you want $1 million. Okay, what, that's it? You know what, I wouldn't mind to have 2. You want 2? Why 2? No, let's go to 4. How about 4? 8. No, do I hear 16? You're never going to have enough. Never going to have enough. I know somebody who was making $100 million. I said to him, why don't you quit and sit down and just live your life? He said, well, why would I do that? So you have $100 million. That's going to last you more than, I mean, what in the world are you going to waste this money on? And they won't. They're going to keep on working like dogs until they die. So you want to be parush, start removing, knowing what you're removing, and know what what you're adding in. And make sure that what you add in has meaning, has purpose, and will give you freedom. To be free from ta'avot completely is only a dead person. But to have your ta'avot, your desires, under control, that's up to you. That's a living person. That's how you become holy. And Ra'ayah Davar, let's take the Rambam. The Rambam wrote, Sefer Kedusha, holiness, how you become holy, by knowing the most basic things of our needs. What's in Sefer Halachot Kedusha? You would think Halachot Kedusha will be how to meditate, how to pray, how to do this, how to do that. Halachot Kedusha, holiness to the Rambam, is Isurei Biyah, right? Sexual interactions, and whatever comes along with that, aside with it, and Machalot Asurot, what you're allowed and not allowed to eat. Get this under control. Judaism says like this: unlike Christianity, if you want to be a holy man, you want to be a priest, and so on and so forth, what do? You don't marry a woman. Unlike Islam that says if you want to be holy and so on and so forth, don't drink alcohol. Judaism says, listen, we're people, we understand. Have it under control. You'll be the boss of yourself. Put meaning into your life. So what does it mean, meaning into my life? When you eat, know why are you eating. When you walk, know why am I walking. Put meaning in every actions that you do. Then you become, more control of it. You become abstinent, and as a result of that, you become holy. And this is a good choice. I have a nice day.